Hello and welcome. This is part number 2 about Sony's FX9 camcorder and the audio section. In the first video we have set up a UWP-D radio mic, and today we will have a look into the menu and see what other audio functions the camcorder provides. Here is the menu of the FX9, and the point number 6 is the audio section, where you have two submenus for audio input and audio output. If you go on audio input, then you see there is no channel 1 you can select. Which signal goes to channel number 1 can be only select with the switches on the left side of the camcorder. If you look on channel number 2, this can be only input number 1 and number 2, but also on the knobs on the left side you can also choose the internal mic and the MI issue if you want. And then you can select channel number 3, which is then of course off, input number 1, internal mic and the MI issue. So on channel number 3 and 4 you have the full options on all inputs the camera provides. Input mic reference, that is for the input number 1, it's the reference level. It has nothing to do with the knobs where you can change the level overall, it's just the reference level. This can be changed in various ways. Minus 30 dB is less sensitivity, minus 80 dB is the highest sensitivity, minus 50 is the standard sensitivity, which is from my point of view good enough for most of all microphones on the market. If you use an interview mic, maybe a very low sensitivity dynamic microphone, then it makes sense to go higher here. The same is for the input number 2. The line input reference level is for the two XLR sockets on the right side of the camcorder. You can change this from plus 4 dB as the reference level to 0 to minus 3 and then to EBUL, which is based on an European Broadcast Union directive. If you'd like to know more about this reference level, then search on Google for it. Overall, I guess this is the standard setup for the most European broadcasters. I leave it with EBU here. Reference level overall is minus 20. There are several input levels. EBU level is the standard. So let's choose this. And then we have the wind filter for channel 1, 2, 3 and 4. I would be careful with the wind filter. It cuts a lot of high frequencies and try to cut the wind noise. But it is better to use some foam or a dead cat around your microphone to avoid some wind noise. So the wind filter is something nice to have, but nothing I would really use as long as I have the chance to do it mechanically directly on the microphone. Level control can be auto or manual. This can be switched on channel number 1 and 2 on the switches of the left side of the camcorder, and for channel number 3 and 4 it can be switched here in the menu. If you have the chance to do the input level in manual mode, then I always would use the manual mode. The automatic mode finds or try to find a good reference point where the level is not too low and not too high, but as a human you're always better to set this up. And if you use the radio mic, then you get even a small dynamic from the radio mic system into your camcorder. So the manual mode is, from my point of view, the better way to go. Audio input level. This is the master fader for all your inputs into your camcorder. So set it up to 99, that's fine. I don't see any reason to go down with this. Limiter mode. Whenever you have a chance, switch it off. It's, from my point of view, not needed because the next point will be the AGC, the automatic gain control, which is in the end nothing else than a limiter. AGC, automatic gain control, can be mono or stereo. If you have a stereo mic like we have here with the MS2, then it makes sense to have it in stereo. And channel number 3 and 4, if you use the 2-channel radio mic receiver, don't do it in stereo, leave it on mono, that every channel is handled separately. AGC, automatic gain control. The level you can choose is the level when the AGC starts to work. So if we have a look on the graphic here, then you see here are your specs on the upper left corner, minus 6, minus 9, minus 12, minus 50, minus 17. That is the point when AGC starts to work. So if your input level is minus 70 or minus 50 or minus 40, everything is fine. If you're coming to the point on minus, let's say, 10 dB, then you can go up here and see if you have minus 10 dB and it is set to minus 15, then you get a reduction in your level. And this is, from my point of view, limiting. If you look on the full scale specs, so maximum input is plus 20, you never go over minus 4.5 dB FS max here. So in my point of view, AGC acts as a limiter, and that's why you don't need two limiters. Leave the first limiter off. Use your AGC on -6. This is the lowest sensitivity for AGC you can choose. 1 kHz tone and color bars. If you show a reference picture, then it can be with the 1 kHz tone or without a 1 kHz tone. That's all. The last point in the menu is the channel level function. Here you can choose between audio input level, side, and level plus side. What it means is that you can say the audio input level is only set by the parameters I have set in the menu here. Or you say I can set the output level with the knobs on the left side of the camcorder, or I choose both level and side. This means the level I set in the menu is a level I can use, and the dial faders on the left side of the camcorder are also used to change the level. And this is then possible for channel 1, 2, 3 and 4 individual. And that's all. That is the input menu of the FX9 for the audio section. Looks a bit complicated, but I have to say in most cases the factory presets are very good. There's some slight adjustment like switching off the limiter and use the AGC instead, or the stereo and mono thing, but that's all I would change. Before we end this long video, let's have a short look on the output section of the FX9. The output section shows only 4 points. Monitor is which channel you like to monitor is 1 or 2, 3 or 4 on left and right ear, or you mix them all, or you listen to channel 1, 2, 3 or 4 individually. That's all. If you use a radio mic as your only mic, I would say look on this channel and forget the ambient mic from my point of view, but overall the mix is okay if you have not too much sources. The headphone out, mono or stereo, very simple. If you have stereo microphone, then use stereo. If you have only mono channels like 1 shotgun and maybe 2 channels of radio mics, then of course use the mono function. The alarm level is just the level of any alarms or any acoustic alarms for the camcorder. It's set to FEAR, which is good from my point of view. And the last point is HDMI output. That is the audio channel you send to the HDMI output. Let's go back to the screen. What I couldn't change is the level of the bar graphs here in the lower right corner. It is, from my point of view, always channel 1 and 2. I couldn't find a function to change this to channel 3 or 4. So if I find it out, I will make another video and give you a notice in the comment field. Okay, this was part 2 about the FX9 audio setup. Part 1 is the link in the description. And as always, if you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't like the video, thumbs down. That is okay. But please write me in the comment field what I can do better and maybe what you like to see next time about audio and camcorder setup from Sony. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.